Hello and welcome back to another video of Formula 1 Challenge 1973, and welcome to the Temple of Motorsport, the Italian Grand Prix. So it's race 13 of the season and we are in Monza. And we are at the back of a great Austrian Grand Prix where everything just worked out perfectly. Managed to win, kept the championship hopes alive. However, Jackie is still having a bit of a lead. I think it was 8 points margin between us. So we still have our work cut out. And yeah, the main goal is to try and repeat some similar result that we had in Austria. So get some points, or preferably a podium, or maybe even a race win. We'll see how that works out. And then we can go on for the remaining 2 Grand Prix aside of this one and see where we will end up at the end of the season. So let's head over to the qualifying. Here we go. And the hot lap is about to start. And for this race, I will be using a very similar setup I used in Austria because they just worked so well with the straight lines. Only thing I modified is the gears are a little bit longer, so I can have an even higher top speed because the straight lines are much longer here than they were in Austria. And as you can see, these 2 corners are also full speed as well. And we're heading into the first corner where I actually have to brake. And then the next one. And so far this feels really good. So hopefully I won't make any mistakes for the remaining about half a lap. And that should be enough to get us a good result. This could be a bit dangerous during the race. Just hit that curb there. So again, it's not very healthy to hit those curbs. They are again higher than the track, so can spin you or send you airborne. Not the safest thing to happen. And we are entering the final corner. And now the final straight. Let's see what's it gonna be. .133, almost. Yeah, that's good. And that gets us the pole position, followed by Peter Revson, and then Danny Halm on P3. And we have Jody Scheckter on P4, so I'm followed by 3 McLarens. And we have Jackie here on P5, not the best qualifying for him. And right next to him will be his teammate Francois Sever. Then we have James Hunt on P7, Carlos Reutemann on P8. And actually the AI did a lot better in the free practice. Then we have Beltoise on P9, De Adamic on P10. So they had better lap times in the free practice than in the qualifying session actually. Then we have Lauda on P11, Regazzoni on P12, Jackie X on P13. Then behind him we have Wilson Fittipaldi on P14 and the other Fittipaldi, Emerson, on P15. Carlos Pace on P16, Halewood on P17, Merzario on P18, then Ronnie Peterson on P19. And there you can see my first teammate Van Lennep on P20. He's falling quite a lot behind in the second half of the season. Butler on P21, Jarier on P22, Wiesel on P23. Then on P24 we have Mas. Right behind him on P25 we have my other teammate Ganley. On P26 Purley, 27, 28, and so on. And yeah, and as you can see, I need to look sideways because that's where the lights are and I can't see them if I'm looking towards the front. So yeah, that was a little bit of a late start as I had no idea what's happening with the lights. But regardless, it's time to do some racing, and I get overtaken by two McLarens, make a bit of contact with Scheckter. Thankfully I didn't take him out. And I'm back to P2. However, Revson is already pulling away, has more than half a second lead to me, and I'm having almost the same amount to Scheckter. And it looks like he can keep ahead, so it might be difficult to try and overtake him. However, in this corner I might be able to get the better exit. No, not entirely, he's a little bit faster as we come out of that corner. But I had this one, and it's only 2/10 now. Bit of contact with Revson as well, but I retake the first place, and it's time to try and open a gap between the two of us. And as you can see, you can't see, well, what you could see is that you can't see anyone behind us, so we already pulled away quite a bit from the rest of the pack, so it might end up just the two of us chasing each other, maybe a bit more than we did in Austria. And for some reason he goes just to the outside. I'm not sure you're supposed to do that or not, whatever. I don't really care, because here we have the first chicane and is pulling back, and nothing really happened all the way until lap 6 when I caught the first back marker. And as you can see by now, I have a 15 seconds lead over Revson, and I think that was one of my teammates. He just let me pass, which is really nice of him. They don't always do that. And then on P8, another two back markers who are actually fighting for position, actually three back markers, but they let me pass as they pull over to the outside of the track. And by now we have almost half a minute of a lead over Revson. So far we're definitely dominating this race as well. Then on P10 we have another pack of back markers, and I actually really struggled to put this video together, because the only thing that happened throughout the entire race was what you can see here, just trying to lap the back markers. So it was really boring even from my perspective. It was a pretty boring race up until this point, where I managed to make a bit of contact with the curb and then with the barrier. So the only thing I was worried about, obviously, the back markers, and I was hoping that they are not going to take me out, and someone is in the barrier there, got stuck. He's actually still in the race because the car doesn't seem to have any damage, just got stuck in that barrier and can't move. Actually pretty quick back markers. We still haven't managed to overtake them, and I'm behind them for almost half a lap now. And now is the time to catch up to them. Actually, that's one of my teammates. I think that was Van Lennep. I couldn't see his helmet. And another three of them right in front. They don't seem to be fighting a lot here. They're just behind each other. No one is making any moves. And that's my other teammate right there in front. They move to the outside. And hopefully I can overtake him before the corner and just narrowly get past. I think that was Butler. You can see another one in front. And it took me all this time to catch up to him. Actually, this was Van Lennep. Now I could see his helmet. And by now we have almost 40 seconds to Revson. We are on lap 14. As I have to make avoiding action and hit the fence a little bit, as the driver in front of me, well, he broke a little bit too early for my liking. And yeah, I was still quite fast at the entrance of that corner. So I decided to go on straight ahead instead of making contact. Thankfully it didn't cost me a lot of time, I lost about 3 seconds, but with more than half a minute gap between me and Revson, it's not really an issue. I think that was one of the Ferraris. And then on lap 19 we have another back marker. We have, I think that's Graham Hill, who, well, tries to get out of my way and just drops himself on the curb, or on that tiny island, and I hit the curb. So yeah, that was a bit funny. And on lap 24 we have 4 back markers, one of them is Ganley. And now we're in the middle of a back marker train. I was hoping I can avoid making contact with the McLaren, who basically just flies into me from the side. But it doesn't really matter because we got no damage out of that, and it looks like he didn't have any damage either. So, and we have more than a minute over Revson, and this is the final lap where pretty much everything seems to be decided. So unless I do something really stupid, then this race should be in the bag. Well, let's hope everything works out. And I really hope that if I still catch any back markers, they are not going to take me out of this race either. But so far everything is good. I have the fastest lap as well. It was actually about a second slower than my qualifying lap, so it was 1:34 something. And we're heading towards the chicane. This time there's no danger, no back markers around. Just the clear wide road as we head into the straight towards the final corner. Poor guy was still stuck in the barrier. And here we are, winning the 1973 Italian Grand Prix by quite a margin. Over 1 minute lead over Revson. Absolutely fantastic race. Everything just worked out just as perfectly as it did in Austria. Even better by taking the pole position. And the news that we actually missed here, that Jackie was out of the race. Which means no points for him, 9 points for me. And yeah, that's pretty good news, because now I'm definitely still in the title fight. So yeah, this has been just simply amazing. So now you can watch me go around for a little longer. And it's still around a minute until Revson will finish his race. And that's a back marker right behind me there. So yeah, this has been just simply amazing. So it's time to get ready for the next one in Canada. We'll see what that race will have in store for us. And yeah, so here are the final results. Peter Revson finished on P2, Scheckter on P3, James Hunt on P4, and Danny Halm on P5. So 3 McLarens in the points. Oh, and Merzario got the last point on P6. So 3 McLarens in the points again, so that's bad news for me in regarding the Constructors' Championship. And you can see Jackie is out with an accident, and this time I wasn't causing it. And here you can see I'm 1 point ahead of him, and we have 2 more races to go. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting last 2 races for the season. It's gonna probably gonna go down the wire between us. We'll see what happens in the Canadian Grand Prix. And yeah, if both of us gets points, then we're going to have a really, really tight championship fight for the last race, which I think is gonna be the US Grand Prix. So yeah, it's time to have a look at the constructor standings as well, where McLaren is still ahead of us. Tyrrell is still in the lead. However, McLaren is catching up really quick as their drivers keep finishing in the points. So this was the 1973 Italian Grand Prix. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you at the next race in Canada. Goodbye.